We're on the high-fiber diet.
Oh, yes. Well, I do that.
Do you really? How do you get on?
Oh, it's all right. Well, it needs a bit of adjustment at first, you know. You tend to steer clear of crowded lifts for a bit, but otherwise I quite like it.
Do you? I hate it. I keep taking people out to dinner just to avoid another plateful of minced chipboard and black-eyed beans. It's a disaster. I'm nearly at our access limit and Gerald thinks I'm having an affair. I'm dreading tonight. I know he's got a recipe for potato peelings pie.
You are joking.
I'm not. It's one of those wartime books, you know? 4,000 ways with a powdered egg and a carrot top sort of thing. Apparently, as a nation, we were never healthier than when there was rationing. Also, we have to jog now every morning.
Oh, yes?
You jog, do you?
Well, yes, I do, actually.
Healthy sod, aren't you? No, it's very good. Full marks. It's a guilt, you see. I do find it difficult. You know I smoke.
Do you really?
Oh, don't you start. Yes, I do. It is a partially free country. Also, the other day, Gerald came in when I was having a cream cake, putting a spoonful of sugar in my coffee. I mean, he didn't say anything, you understand, so I didn't have the option of defending myself. He just shot a glance. I mean, I don't even put weight on, but he shot this glance like an accusing lizard. I felt I'd been discovered indecently assaulting a scout troop. I mean, it's a genuine devaluation. Even our guilt is second-rate.
What?
I saw an advert the other day. Naughty but nice, it said, big letters. All it was a wretched cream cake. I mean, 30 years ago, it would have been an undies advert, and there'd be this luscious Jane type hinting at forbidden sexual delights. Well, I don't know about your experience of forbidden sexual delights, but I'm damn sure they're a hell of a sight better than a cream cake. But that is all we are left with. I mean, sex is nothing. Little girls collect their contraceptives at kindergarten and gung-ho, it's off to a life of promiscuity and adultery. I mean, that is the norm. So what are we left with? Gerald and I just don't have that sort of problem. I'd never look at someone else. So, to make up for the lack of guilt and resentment and bitterness, I have to skulk about in corners with a sticky bun. Have crafty drags in the coal hole. If I phone up to say I'll be late home, it isn't because I'm carrying on. It's just to avoid another go of mixed bean ragu and prune surprise. Well, it's a pretty shoddy way to feel guilty. And in my line, I mean guilt. It's my stock in trade. And it's been devalued. I haven't had any decent, real guilt for years. Naughty but nice. Anyway, back to you. Where were we? Oh, yes. An irrational fear of crowded lifts. Have you always had this?
How's your little boy these days?
Dylan? Little boy.
ever see that film, Alien? Where that monster eats everything alive on that spaceship?
Yes.
Well, Dylan's a sort of slightly fiercer version of that. Actually, there's been a great improvement, I'm happy to say. A couple of weeks ago, we had to go to the police station to retrieve him.
Oh, no. What had he done?
He broke this milk bottle
Well, that's not so serious, is it?
over this man's head.
Oh, my God.
Well, thank heavens he missed. There's no great harm done. I mean, his intention was entirely clear and direct. Premeditated murder in the first degree. Sometimes I think Deborah and I must have been exposed to some dreadful radiation at the time of his conception. I mean, Dylan's the kind of thing you expect to crawl out of a meteorite and savage Vincent Price. Mercifully, his aim wasn't up to it. And of course, he's a gifted liar, so we were more or less able to patch things up. Anyway, the upshot was a child psychiatrist. Now he's on a special diet. He can only eat natural, untouched whole foods. No sweets or processed or convenience foods, whatever.
Does he mind?
Oh, he hates it. It cheers me up a lot. I do like to see him suffer, I will admit. Anyway, it's working wonders. He's still the essence of evil, devious, malicious, and loathsome, but all at a vastly reduced capacity. And he sleeps at night, which makes a change from playing Joan of Arc with his sister at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Joan of Arc?
The unfortunate lady was burnt to death. That's a bit Dylan-like. Anyway, touch wood.
Well, I hope the improvement continues.
Thank you, yes. So do I. Harm Alive claims analysis. Oh, yes, is that our multi-policy super plan? Oh, yes, well, that would only apply in the case of loss of both limbs, death or paralysis. Oh, yes, including act of God. Our motto is, if it isn't an act of God, it hasn't happened. Yes, not at all. Goodbye.
Pop off, Napoli, will you? I need a safe house.
Oh, of course.
Not to be disturbed, keep people away. What time's Roth due?
About now.
Oh, good, that gives me a couple of hours. Okay, thank you, Napoli.
Right.
Absolutely sacrosanct, you understand? None shall approach.
Right.
Jolly good. If Karen asks, you saw me leave the building.
Yes.
Hello, Juliet. Dad here. No, it's all right. I'm in the office. A private office. We can talk. Haven't said a word to your mother, no. But as you haven't told me anything, I couldn't have. Well, how's everything going? Oh, Juliet, no. Oh, no. Oh, God. I want to talk about it on the phone. That way, when I burst into tears, you won't be able to see him. Well, I don't know what to say. In my time, you just got married, and that was it. The end of everything granted, but you accepted that and stuck it out. Trouble with you lot is you've all got it into your heads we're here to enjoy ourselves. We're not. Life starts out pretty ropey and gets gradually worse. Once you've grasped that, it's not quite so bad. Well, please don't say anything to your mother just yet. I couldn't face being blamed for that as well. Oh, come on, Juliet. You know damn well that everything that's happened since 1952 has been my fault, including Suez and Harold Wilson. It's my fault Miranda's marrying the last of the Mohicans. It's my fault my grandchildren are called Bill and Ben. It's my fault Edmund's a junkie. I just can't face going home guilty of breaking up your marriage as well. Of course I'm going to say that. You don't stick to things. We've still got your embroidery on the bedroom wall. The one that says, "It's a long lane, that." You never got past grade 4 on your piano. That was something else I got the blame for. All right. Well, look, let's have a drink after work, shall we? About 6. Yes, all right. Bye.
Rose. Morning, Napoli. You can't go in there, Rose.
Napoli, stupid. Napoli, it's my office.
What's the matter with you? You're damn near on time. What's the matter with you? Had a brainstorm or something?
Arm alive for claims analysis. Only in the case of loss of both limbs or death. Not at all. Goodbye. What's the matter with the old man?
His elder daughter wants to leave her husband.
Good Lord. How do you know?
I listened on the extension.
Oh, yes. People don't stay together these days, do they?
No.
Seems everywhere you look there's divorce.
Everywhere. My sister and her husband decided to separate and they live in Welwyn Garden City.
Oh, well...
Well, in their case it was different because they decided to separate in May and they booked a holiday in July. 3 weeks in Tenerife. And they couldn't get their money back.
Oh, dear.
So they decided to go anyway.
Ah, and they got back together again.
Oh, no, they had a hell of a time. Fought like cat and dog the whole 3 weeks. Starting in the air terminal.
Good Lord.
But they wanted their money's worth, you see.
Philip, look. Just look at those profiteroles. God, I'd love some of those.
You haven't had a starter yet.
I know, but I lust after those profiteroles. However, I shan't. I will be strong.
Oh. Do you fancy the waiter?
What?
The waiter, the one over there. Could you find him attractive?
Could I?
Yes.
Well, yes, I suppose so. You know, if he's got a nice nature and a beautiful soul and
And?
thick black hairs all over his chest.
Let's say you had a plate full of profiteroles
Oh, yes, let's say that.
and then went to bed with the waiter.
Pardon?
Which would make you feel the more guilty?
Oh, the profiteroles.
Really?
Oh, well, of course. Going to bed with waiters doesn't make you fat, does it? In fact, rather the reverse. Why do you ask this curious question? He's not an old friend you owe a favour to, is he?
No, it's a theory of Simon's. Apparently our guilt has become second-rate.
Really? Oh, by the way, I'm going to see a new psychotherapist.
Are you?
Tomorrow. Have you ever wondered what Simon's like with his other patients?
No, the same, I suppose. Why?
You know, you're right about that waiter. He's really rather tasty. Oh, I love those white nylon shirts.
Do you?
You can see all his fur through it. He's got an ingot. I knew he would have.
Shall I go? You know, I mean, I don't want to cramp your style in any way.
Don't be silly, Philip. Of course you can't go. It's your turn to pay the bill. You can go then.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, madam.
Oh, hello. Well,
Now, you've had an unfortunate experience in therapy before, haven't you?
Yes,
Which still causes you some anguish.
very much so.
Well, now, I'd like you to tell me all about it, Maureen.
Marilyn,
Marilyn, yes. In your own time, just tell me everything.
well, it started about the third session. He suggested that what I needed was surrogate sex therapy.
Surrogate sex therapy?
Yes.
Yes. What does surrogate mean?
Substitute.
Oh, yes, yes. You mean he was suggesting himself as a substitute?
Oh, yes.
Good Lord. Good Lord. And what, you were alone in a consulting room?
Oh, absolutely. Alone in the house. His receptionist had taken her son to his grade 4 piano exam, the Moonlight Sonata. And his housekeeper had to spend the afternoon in her home because they were coming with the carpets that day. Oatmeal Berbers, but they couldn't give a definite time. Oh, yes. I was quite alone with him.
Dear me, dear me. Well, just tell me what happened.
Well...
you can tell me anything, absolutely anything. I won't be shocked. I'm quite unshockable.
Well, I had sex with him there and then.
Good Lord. No, I quite see. I quite see. You felt that was the only course of action under the circumstances.
Oh, no, I fancied him dreadfully. I mean, he really is amazingly attractive.
What?
He's got really beautiful eyes. Oh, his eyes just wipe me out.
But your husband, your children, didn't you think of them?
Well, not while we were making love.
I'm sure you know what I mean.
Well, I thought of me, really. I'm 40, you know. I've thought of Donald's and the kids for nearly 20 years. It was very liberating in a sense. Admittedly, it was disappointing when he tried all that surrogate sex therapy tosh. I mean, to be frank with you, all he had to say was, how about it? Basically, I was so infatuated with him
I thought all this was causing you a great deal of pain.
Well, it is. He doesn't want to see me anymore. He's taken up with a Goanese lady with a caste mark and a status complex. I'm tortured by images of him lasciviously unwinding her sari.
I see. You don't have any feelings of guilt?
Well, frankly, no. I was quite clear about what he wanted. And Donald doesn't make love very much.
Oh, I see.
Well, not to me, he doesn't. And I'm perfectly certain my daughter's far more sexually experienced than I am. Her bedside cabinet's so full of contraceptive devices, you'd think she was doing social work in Calcutta. Also, I will admit, I do have what I call my brief encounter complex.
So, brief encounter?
Well, Celia Johnson gets up my pipe a bit in that, you know. If you had Trevor Howard after you, would you turn him down?
Ah, well, Trevor Howard.
Well, in your case, Jane Fonda or whoever.
Oh well, yes.
I've got it on video. I scream at her. It's Trevor bloody Howard, you dozy moo. Get in there. Trevor Howard.
Yes.
Just an armchair reaction, of course.
Oh, yes.
But it does reveal a degree of desire for excitement or something.
And your husband has affairs, does he?
Oh, always has had.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, perfectly bloody.
Well, don't you think you should do something?
Well, do what? Divorce him and lumber myself with the kids and the mortgage? Spend the rest of my life suing him for unpaid maintenance? Well, he's always very contrite afterwards. We go to places again, have some sort of fun. He loves me, I suppose, in his feckless, useless sort of way. So we jog along. Now, I think that there is a sexual difference here, however much we wish there wasn't. I think that women tend, by and large, to want monogamy, but the number of faithful men can be counted on the fingers of a sawmill operator's hands. So, I have sort of decided to live in the world as it is.
Yes. I see.
Sort of hazily, your eyes, aren't they?
I think this is brewed now.
Truly good.
Do you have milk?
Yes, please.
Sugar?
Oh, no. I really mustn't.
It's a quite extraordinary period. This place is to be shut down. I don't suppose I'll have any future. My younger daughter's marrying the only Cro-Magnon man left still wandering around. My grandchildren are called Bill and Ben.
Why did he call them that?
How should I know? I'm just terrified they'll have a daughter later, and he'll call her Weed. He might. But it's Alice, you see. It's my wife is the trouble. I don't think she blames me, really, exactly, logically. She just feels that everything's going wrong, and it must be someone's fault, and I'm sort of there.
Yeah.
Well, it's a curious thing, this belief that everything's going wrong.
Is it?
Well, it's always going wrong. That's the norm. Yet generations of people continue to be surprised at it. Take my life. I first saw the light of day when Wall Street crashed. I grew up in a depression, hunger marches, poverty, unemployment. Then came a world war just to ginger things up a bit. Immediately followed by austerity, which dragged on all through the 50s. Luminous socks and Lady Docker notwithstanding. Then came the swinging 60s, where we planted all the trouble we're reaping now. Poverty, unemployment, death of the health service, Muzak, acrylic velvet, and Richard Clayderman. Now, where in that melancholy catalogue of misery is the slightest evidence to suggest that everything would ever be hunky-dory? Nowhere. I've faced the works in my time, Roth, from falling hair to errant children, from disappointed ambition to midriff bulge. I'm a map of middle-aged melancholia. In short, the very picture of normality. Now I've got to tell Alice that Juliet's thinking of divorcing Stephen. Oh, well, we must have our ups and downs in life. Remember the old saying, it's a long lane, that.
Everyone's marriage is breaking up. That's been the topic at work.
Well, ours both did. Was yours just the infidelity?
Well, I just couldn't cope with the all-embracing selfishness.
I know.
And I mean, she was selfish as well.
I don't know too many successful marriages. Apart from Simon and Gerald.
They fight all the time.
Well, I know, but not seriously.
No. Oh, yes, how did you get on with your new psychotherapist?
Well, I'm not sure.
How do you mean?
Philip. Mm-hmm. What exactly does surrogate mean?